ones.
This is Skylight Cave with a gate that's unlocked, but the gate was closed when I got here, so I assume the bear didn't close it behind him on his way in. So this is Skylight Cave. It's very hard to hold the GoPro and the flashlight. And I think the only way to do it is to go 2 feet and kneel. I just want to see how far the cave goes. I just want to get to this corner, which is challenging enough. I am too big for this stuff. Well, I can see it goes another 30 feet.
Be careful of the rock right above your head.
Well, that's what... Just carrying it, going in 10 feet is too much for an old man like me. I'm not a cave explorer. Bobby, come explore the cave. Matt, you're bigger, but you'd still explore the cave. Me, not so much.
Me, not at all.
Well, we found the cave.
We found the cave.
Love climbed all the way inside the gate.
We went inside the gate.
On our way back from Skylight Cave. The last portion just before the cave is very steep. And on the right is this huge rock wall. And that rock wall is where the cave is. Right there where you can't see. Now we gotta go down the little steep section. Then the rest of it is a nicely graded, easy trail. Okay. The last section before you get up to the cave has a bunch of log steps. But once we get around this bend right up here, it goes back to a nicely graded trail. This is Object Lesson Road. One of the first roads actually built for an automobile. The crushed stone road, giving better drainage than mud. Salt-seeking buffalo, moccasin-clad warriors, dreaming pioneers, battling Civil War soldiers. Each was here in the historic Cumberland Gap, and now so are we. This is the historic Cumberland Gap. Downhill that way to the east, downhill that way to the west in Kentucky, etc., etc.
Okay, we're gonna...
All I've got to say about Cumberland Gap is that the approach from the east is significantly steeper than the way we came up from the west. When they finally get up this last hill, they had easy sailing. Pretty steep last section to come up to get to Cumberland Gap.
And that goes to the...
After you get all the way here, the last thing the oxen need to do is look up and see this, where the people with push carts / pull carts doing it on their own. I bet a bunch of people made multiple trips up carrying part of their supply so the ox could get the empty wagon up the hill. And by the way, in case you haven't heard them in the background yet, Cumberland Gap has cicadas too. I hope Easton never gets them. We hiked 6/10 of a mile to Cumberland Gap. We could have gone further, but it was very steep heading continued east. So we would have had to come back up that. We said, well, if we're going to have to come back up all that, why don't we just go the other direction and go to Pinnacle Peak It's only another 1.2 miles and 1,100 feet of elevation. We couldn't drive to Pinnacle Peak. There is a road, but you can't drive if you have a vehicle over 20 feet. So instead of cutting 5 feet off the back of the motorhome, we're walking up. Seems like a much better choice. Somewhere right there. A little summit. This is apparently where Fort Lyon was. It's also apparently the summit of Pinnacle Peak. And this is the view from below the fort. You can see why they picked there to defend. Nobody's coming up Pinnacle Peak behind them, and they got pretty good defensive stand right there against anybody coming up this way after them.
We have a Middlesboro. Oh, you do? Yeah.
Apparently I hiked to Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Lodge up there.
And now I'm going back to Virginia.
So, yeah, okay, it's fine.
Pinnacle Rock, as it were. A rock on a pinnacle. The motorhome, and love makes a break for it. I'm faster on the uphills, she's faster on the downhills. So, I got to the top first, she got to the bottom first. Well, I found Laurel Lake. I can't say it's anything to write home about, at least so far. Trail follows the shore. We'll go down to the corner and see what's around the corner. But then we're going to head back up one way or the other. On the left we have Laurel Lake. Here we got a big chunk of rock. Up there you got some more rock. You can see where this probably came from. You can't see the end of the lake yet. So we'll walk a little further. I know how to take a hint that I've reached the end of the trail. It goes further, but it doesn't go further with dry feet. So it looks like a good place to turn around. (1953) Corvette. Most of you don't think of me as a Corvette fan. That's because I'm not, but don't tell anybody here. Well, after touring the museum and seeing the new 24 Corvette E-Ray, which has electric motors as well, it can go from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It sounds like exactly what I need. Or not. We've done two things in, where are we?
Bowling Green. We're in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Bowling Green, Kentucky. We went to the Antique Mall and we went to the National Corvette Museum. They both took about the same amount of time. Which one did you enjoy more?
I think the antique mall was better.
Yeah, the antique mall, I
It
would
wasn't
say
so great, but you know, this was like,
it wasn't very good. The antique mall was mediocre. But the Corvette Museum was mediocre and cost $50. So my vote's for the antique mall. So this is Bowling Green. All we've seen of Bowling Green is a lot of stores. They have lots of stores in Bowling Green. Apparently some other stuff too. I don't know what that is. Advanced Auto Parts. Oh, they have Wendy's. Yeah. They have a Walmart, which is where we're going. This is a weird area, yes. We're off that main highway and we're just wandering through these roads that lead to stores everywhere. And one of them
It's like
ahead of us is
Framingham.
Walmart. So we can get some DEF fluid. Speed bump. Every 100 yards there's a speed. Don't hit that bottom. Every 100 yards there's a speed bump. And all it is a maze of big streets and stores.
At the light, turn left onto Cave Mill Road, then turn right onto Scottsville Road.
Stores as far as the eye can see in every direction. This must be like the shopping center for central United States. Just miles of streets and stores. And we're now back out to the main divided highway, driving through all the stores and malls and areas with shopping things and stuff. Whew. Stores, miles of stores. Everything you could want, maybe. A mile from all those stores, farmland. Who knew? That looked like corn.
I think so.
Houses? I wouldn't want to live here though, because I think you probably have to go through that mess to get anywhere. Glad we didn't get here a couple of days ago. The whole campground is full of downed trees. Apparently they had a pretty big windstorm. Yeah. That could do a number on a motorhome. All the small stuff along the edge here. Some more bigger trees up here. And it's been all through the campground. A lot of downed trees. Some more downed trees. Yeah. Yeah, we timed this one right. Another tree.